One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, yet we see it everywhere in everything. There's one power indescribable, yet we speak of it in every word we say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's one power, one power, one power.
Let's take a moment. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. Exhale out. Let your body relax. Sink into your chair. And if you're comfortable, let my words speak as a prayer for you. Life itself is such a miracle that I do not need a momentous happening to realize God's power is at work in my life and in the universe. I may never know all that the power of Spirit encompasses, or all that I am capable of doing. The beauty of being cared for by God is that I do not have to know the answers to any or all of the questions in order to live my life fully and completely. The sweet mystery of Spirit runs through all life, so there's no need for me to be concerned. I have faith, not only in my own life, but all humankind as well. I face the unknown with confidence and with peace of mind. God is everywhere. Love is real, and the power of Spirit is actively renewing and restoring all. And so it is.
It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunlight on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for its love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, it's one power. It's the power of the love that lives in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. There's one power, one power, one power.
Lord, Make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given, to you, my God, I surrender. Surrender. I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given, to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender.
I'm practicing my zeal. We're going to talk about zeal. Zeal is the power of October. So Stacy's gone at a competition with Alana. So hi, Stacy, if you're watching. So she just wanted me to announce a reminder that next week is the open house, the Youth and Family Ministries open house. It'll be from 12 to 2. So if you have friends or neighbors that have kids, or if you're a kid at heart, come on and join on in. Thank you.
And there's a bouncy house, I hear. So, that's enough right there. Thank you for being our family. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for blessing and teaching us. God bless you. Amen. All that I am, all I've been given, to you, my God, I surrender.
Thank you so much to our youth and to our youth advisors. We are very appreciative of the work they do. Good morning. Welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. I know first service, it was like I had to keep moving. I don't know where the sun is now. You may have to move around a little, but it's worth it. It's that October-March thing we get here, I'm so happy to be here with you today. And when we say welcome at Unity in Lynnwood, we mean welcome to all. We really want you all to know that. We are all in different places. You're all here. And here. And maybe we all are in different places. Second service, I kind of meant metaphysically, we're all in different places. We all have different backgrounds and stories. Whatever yours is today, we are glad you are here with us. Some of us are bringing our best selves to this space, and some of us are bringing our struggling selves, including pieces we might be ashamed of or just having a hard time with. And that's cool, because you're welcome here. Your struggling self is welcome here, and you are loved. Some of us may already have open hearts this morning, and some of us aren't quite there yet, because our hearts may have gotten a little beat up this week. And we might have forgotten how to trust and how to open. And that's okay, we see you. Some of us are with you. Your heart is welcome here, no matter how bruised it might be. We welcome you among us. All of us are imperfect. Thank God, right? But we're here to drop our defenses and trust that what happens while we're here together is powerful and is life-giving. So together we affirm this day and our being together, that it can make each of us braver little more compassionate and wiser, maybe, than when we woke up this morning. So I'm glad we're all here together, and whatever we are bringing, it's all here together, and we welcome you here in love. So today's Connection Sunday. It's the first Sunday of the month. I'm shocked that it's October. Why am I shocked? I don't know. Time keeps going by so fast. I can't believe it. But Connection Sundays are great, and Unity in Lynnwood offers numerous opportunities to deepen your relationships through volunteerism and small group ministry. So today, I would like to welcome Jennifer Lovejoy and Fran and Tom Curley to the platform to talk about stuff.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer, and we're here to talk about the Monday Night Search for God group. This is based on the work of Edgar Cayce. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about who Edgar Cayce was and how his teachings relate to New Thought teachings. And then Tom is going to talk a bit about the study group, and Fran is going to give some details. So I'm sure many of you have heard of Edgar Cayce. He was commonly called the sleeping prophet, and that's because he was able to put himself into a trance, basically a state of self-hypnosis, and from there he could contact the source of all, God, and bring through information for people. So he did readings for people. Over 14,000 readings have been cataloged and archived at the Cayce headquarters in Virginia Beach, but he actually did a lot more than that before they started saving everything. So he was quite prolific. And many of the readings were on health and medical conditions. He's known by some as the father of holistic medicine because his readings were very clear that it wasn't just about medical treatment for even very serious diseases, but there was a spiritual component to it. There was frequently a dietary component to it and other aspects of lifestyle. So, but the core of it was really that spiritual consciousness is the root of all health or illness. One of the readings states, "All you may learn of God is already within self, for your body is indeed the temple of the living God, and as you meet him there, you may gain in your own consciousness the satisfaction of walking and talking with him." So it's very much about a personal experience of God. Cayce was born in the late 1800s, lived in the early part of the 1900s, so he was a contemporary with Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, who founded Unity, and many of the other New Thought leaders of the time. There is some evidence that he actually knew the Fillmores. One of his letters makes a reference to working with the leaders and perhaps even doing a reading for Charles Fillmore. And he certainly did readings for many other famous people of the time, including Woodrow Wilson. But it's really the set of beliefs that he offered was not something that you had to follow. It was not a dogma. The readings focus on the fact that each person should test in their own life the principles that were presented. Cayce himself was a Christian. He read the Bible through cover to cover every year of his life, which is a pretty amazing feat. But his work stressed the importance of comparative study among belief systems all over the world. Cayce stated that regardless of the religion, it's important to keep in mind that there is only one God, and each individual should attempt to understand that one God to the best of his or her ability. And that really is the core of what the study group is about. I can say that I've been in not only the study group, but for about 10 years I was in a study group in Louisiana, and I found that being part of a group discussing these readings and having that experience has just been one of the most transformative experiences in my life. It has really made a big difference in my spiritual growth and my spiritual practice. So I find it personally very valuable. So I'll let Tom tell you a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, everybody. So two of Cayce's big dreams were to establish a hospital at which his readings could be tested and established and word could get out so that these practices, which are now becoming more and more common so many years later, would become common earlier. And he also founded a university. This was prior to the Depression, and when the Depression came through in 1931, both of those institutions closed because there was lack of funding, not surprising. Cayce was, as you might imagine, feeling pretty badly about all this. So a group of people gathered with him, and they, in effect, formed the first study group that They, started in 1931, and based upon readings that Casey gave, they developed the materials which are now in this book, A Search for God, 2 volumes. That was published eventually in 1942. So they worked on this for about 11 years to develop this material. And this is the material, part of the material that study groups are based upon. Study groups, today there are over 300 study groups in the United States and something in the order of 113 study groups around the world. So it is a continuing and really essential part of Edgar Cayce's legacy. In terms of the purpose of study groups, the purposes of study groups are really 2. The first is to develop that understanding and appreciation and love for God and our fellow human beings. And the second purpose is to love others and give service to others as well. And part of the way in which we begin to develop that feeling for giving service to others is that we meet once a week, but between weekly meetings, we have an experiment, something to do to take these ideas to put them into practice. Hence this book, Experiments in a Search for God. So we work with that, and at the beginning of each meeting, we simply come in and report upon what we have discovered in our efforts to put these ideas into practice. We then read a little bit from this text and reflect on it and discuss this. We have been meeting for something in the range of 22 months now, and we've made it almost to page 130. So you can see that the process is one that takes a little bit of time. And then at the end, we do meditation and a prayer group to support one another. Now, speaking for myself, I would say this. We introverts recognize that transformation is an inside job. I have sometimes made the mistake, see, I admitted it. I have sometimes...
He couldn't have done that before study group.
That's right. So I've sometimes made the mistake of thinking that this inside job is an individual job. And I know by working in this group, I know that part of the inside is all of those folks that we're connected to. So, and it's obvious to me now that my growth depends upon working in a group, and working in a group helps me more than trying to go within myself and try to figure it out for myself. So that's what I consider to be a real benefit of this practice. And Fran now.
I'm just here to give you the nuts and bolts of what happens here. We meet here every Monday in Dr. Rich's office most of the time from 7 to 8:30. We start on time, we end on time because we know everybody has commitments. And it's an open group. You're welcome to come and join us at any time. You're welcome to even just come for a week and sit in and to be able to say, now I know what that group is all about. So we encourage you to do that. For me, the experience has been most meaningful in the fact that I get to go out every week and try out these things that we've been talking about and see how they work. So please come join us if you can. Thank you.
Thanks, you three. We love true confessions, Tom. Well, we trust that Fran will treat that respectfully and not give you a list later. Love you all. All right, so one of the important things that we like to talk about here at Unity is prayer. And in Unity, as in most, if not all spiritual traditions, there's a powerful consciousness surrounding the importance of prayer. In Unity, we often reference the phrase affirmative prayer to talk about one way that maybe we like to pray here. So I was kind of looking for some new and interesting descriptions of this type of prayer, wanting to keep it fresh. So I went to Wikipedia. Right? Thank you, Len. Aw, wait, right. It's not always the best source. But I thought it was a good one this time, so I decided to use it. So Wikipedia says, affirmative prayer is a form of prayer or metaphysical technique that is focused on a positive outcome rather than a negative situation. For instance, a person who has experienced some form of illness would focus the prayer on the desired state of perfect health and affirm this desired attention as if it already happened, rather than identifying the illness and then asking God for help to eliminate it, right? That's pretty straightforward, good way to describe it. Wikipedia also cites that New Thought churches were a catalyst for this idea and mentions that the foundational logic of this form of prayer is based on the belief that God is unlimited and plays no favorites. I like that one, right? That God created spiritual laws that are both as mysterious and constant as scientific principles like gravity, and thus, if one's prayer is correctly and diligently focused, it will be answered consistently. So I like that description, although I'd like to believe that my prayer doesn't always have to be 100% correctly and diligently focused. I'm going to trust that Spirit knows my heart, knows what the perfect and right outcome would be, and allows me to miss the mark in the way that I pray sometimes. So that's if that's helpful to any of you, I thought I would share it. So here at Unity, we like to support you in your prayer life. We like to give you lots of good backup. So we have prayer slips that are in the seats in front of you. It says, the community that prays with you. You can fill one of these out and slip it in the offering basket later. This is kept confidential. We don't post these up on the wall out there. But this is prayed, gets lots of good prayer attention here with our prayer groups. And you sometimes just writing it down and releasing it is a good way to do it. We have a prayer line, a confidential prayer line. That number is in our program, which you can get out in the foyer. It's also on our Facebook page, or you can find that information on our app. There's lots of ways to get really good support for your prayer life. We also have amazing prayer chaplains that are here to support you. And these prayer chaplains are available after service today and every Sunday if you would like some one-on-one prayer time. If you come up to the sides of the sanctuary after church, they will welcome you back. So if we can get an ID on them, prayer chaplains, would you mind standing so we can see who you are? And thank you for your work. We greatly appreciate your service. Also in our spiritual community and in lots of walks of life, we use denials and affirmations to focus, to center us, and to help us move through our day-to-day lives. Stating a denial is simply stating that something is untrue. It's a way of disconnecting ourselves from false thinking. An affirmation is a positive statement of truth. Charles Fillmore said, the law of divine enthusiasm, spiritual zeal, is one of the most powerful laws operative in the kingdom of heavens. To speak always fearlessly, truthfully, and courageously makes for enthusiasm and establishes a confidence, a sureness that even the angels of heaven must notice and honor. So we're going to say our statement, denial and affirmation today so that the angels we get their attention. So the denial and affirmation is behind me. I'm going to read it once, if you can take it in. And then if you're up for standing, we can all say it together. The shouts of race consciousness are not the boss of me. People are amazing. Beauty is ample. Business is booming. And life is good. So let's say that together, wherever you are. The shouts of race consciousness are not the boss of me. People are amazing. Beauty is ample. Business is booming. And life is good. If you want to share that goodness with someone around you for a couple minutes, say hello.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
So I am pleased that I have two very special vocal guests with me today. Miss Rise Macon will join me on the first song, and then Dr. Jennifer Lovejoy will join us on the second.
Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum bum ba-dum.
Listen more often to things and their being. Listen more often to things and their being. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees. They are in the groaning woods. They are in the crying grass. They are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things and their being. Listen more often to things and their being. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They are in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in this crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things and their beings. Listen more often to things and their being. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of the time, daughters of dust and sons of great vision. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life and builders of nations, seekers of the truth, keepers of a faith, makers of peace and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of the time, daughters of dust and sons of great vision. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. Woo!
Are you glad you came? Oh, what a privilege, what a pleasure, what a joy it is to yet again bask in the nobility of your presence. Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you, Rise Macon. Thank you, Dr. Jennifer Lovejoy. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Tom and Fran. Thank you, Robin Moberly. My heavens, I love it that by the time anything falls but between these lips, I have been to church already. Woo! Small group ministry beyond the Monday evening group, and you may need to find a new space. My office is a little small for the beauty of that invitation. On the screen behind me is the full palette of support that is available to you. The next event is the women's group, which meets today following this service at 12:30 p.m. Shelley, are you in the room today? Would you wave to these kind people that they might have a face to connect with a name? Membership at Unity in Lynnwood. I love what Tom and Fran said, that there's a weekly experiment. I love the idea that there comes a point at which we shift from being spectators in life to being players on the field of our lives. I love that. The same applies to us collectively, that there comes a point when we perhaps make a shift from being renters in this evolving, unfolding idea we share to being owners. If you are considering becoming a member of Unity in Lynnwood, today, my friends, is your day. Even if you are just considering it, even if you want to see what the inside of my office looks like. Yes, it is quite nice. Thank you. Join me following this service. Come to understand the genesis of this idea called unity, the paths along which it unfolded, and the tenets which it holds dear. It's an experience called the Basics of Unity. It occurs in my office immediately following this service, and there's a party. For those who choose to join, consider joining us on Friday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Meet your trustees, meet your staff, meet key leaders, and allow us to welcome you with some really delicious food before New Members Sunday, which is indeed next Sunday at the meeting of your choice, local humanitarian outreach ministry. You have been most generous in bringing clothing to benefit the clientele of Holly House and the Everett Gospel Mission. If you would still like to do so, grab an informational postcard from the Welcome and Information Station. Beyond that, Unity in Lynnwood is so proud to be a continuing member of the Adopt a Street program. On 10/10 at 10, no excuse for not remembering that. That's this Thursday morning, 10/10 at 10. A group of us will gather and will bring beauty to a stretch of Alderwood Mall Parkway between our facility and the highway. I did this at 9 o'clock. We are seeking 3 more individuals who are willing to contribute to that, what I predict to be a 1-hour effort. My friends, by show of hands, might that be you? Let me see them, please. Got a few. Thank you. So now, thank you. You may connect with our ambassador, who will guide you to the appropriate registration form that our local humanitarian outreach ministry might anticipate your presence and prepare to welcome you in the manner that you deserve. This ambassador, his role is to support you in your exploration and discovery of this evolving, unfolding idea called Unity in Lynnwood. So if you do have a question about what we believe, about what we teach, or about what is available to you, you may engage him in conversation that they may have a face to go with a name. Lynn Burton Harden, will you wave to this assembly, please? Oh, she is a personal friend. She is a light being. She is really quite an international celebrity. Did you know that? Well, she is. I first met Steffany Barton, who has some undeniable and unique gifts, let me tell you. I first met Steffany Barton when we had just lost a family member, and upon first meeting, before we had said it's nice to meet you and exchanged pleasantries, she said, "Oh, you're here to hear from Kim, aren't you?" And in that moment, and from that moment, her ministry has had my attention. Returning home to Unity in Lynnwood, would you give a rousing welcome to Steffany Barton, please?
International? Whoa, since when? No, I am so happy to be here with all of you this morning. What an incredible space. What an amazing place. I just want to acknowledge the band, the singers, Dr. Richard, all of you. Just thank you all. Just what a great, wonderful place. And the weather is beautiful. Just the word that was coming to me as I was sitting there just preparing was exquisite. I just think this is an exquisite community, an exquisite place, and I am truly honored to be here. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but lately it seems like the world is just a little bit wacky. Has anybody picked up on that? I mean, did you see what she said? Did you hear what he did? Just when you didn't think it could get any worse. What do you know? We're constantly bombarded with all these extremes and what's next and what if. And sometimes it can get a little bit exhausting. So I thought it would be refreshing, maybe rejuvenating, and hopefully a little bit fun today to talk about how we as Unity students and as spiritual beings having a very human experience can learn to be light. Even in the midst of a crazy, chaotic, sometimes darkened world, how can we be light? So would you like to talk about it? Let's do. Now the first step, I think, in learning to be the light is to check in. Now by check in, I don't mean you go on Facebook and let everybody know where you are. but I guess you can do that to promote the church, right? Checking in is about coming home. It's about returning to our hearts. It's about reconnecting with the spirit of love that's inside. Why is it so hard to do that? It's hard because we're constantly pulled out here. We're constantly distracted by what the authorities have told us, by what the religion says, by what our parents expected us to do, by what our teachers taught us. And so it's so much easier to tend to what's out there because it's so noisy, it's so loud, it's so constant, it's sometimes so overbearing. We just get lost in that sea of misinformation. Sometimes it's hard to check in because we've been so busy doing and producing and performing and pleasing everybody else, and we don't remember who we are. Maybe we've forgotten. Don't know what you like to eat, don't know your favorite color, don't know if you're tired or hungry, or sometimes we just get burned out. But what I want you to know is that even in spite of everything that's out there, no matter how long it's been since you've checked in here, always, eternally, right now, inside your heart, is the spirit of love, the presence of light, the constant source of angels and goodness is right there, always, always inside, right now. So checking in isn't as difficult as what it might seem. And I thought we'd practice that just for a few minutes today because it feels good to come home. So I think there's just really 3 easy steps in checking in. First, we find our feet, then we open our hearts, and then we're going to relax our minds. So I'm going to guide you through it just for a moment. And if you're comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. So close your eyes, and just relax. And then I want you to focus your attention on the soles of your feet. Because right there, constantly supporting you, always greeting you, unconditionally accepting you, is our Mother Earth. She calls you to her. She provides for you. Mother Earth wants you here. So feel that connection, honor that, and just settle into that right now. Might even feel good to wiggle your toes so you can connect in that way. But be here. Now, after you've settled in and found your feet, I want you just to take a breath and gently, slowly, tenderly dip in to your heart space. Because no matter what's on the surface, inside is love. Rest into that. Surrender. Peace. That's your home. And then just soften your mind. Let all those thoughts just quiet. Right here. Right now. Love. Welcome home. So as you're ready, then you can open your eyes again. Doesn't that feel good? Just to be back home. So the first step in being light in this world is just to check in. Just check in. Come home. So I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone, but have you ever gone out on vacation, kind of been out from your house for a while, and you come back home, and there's a big stack of junk mail, dust is on the shelves, maybe the cats have knocked things all around. Sometimes when you go away for a while, when you come back home, it's a little untidy, or maybe things are a little messy. And that can happen to us too. Sometimes when we've been so focused on what's going on out there, maybe we forget to meditate. Maybe our healthy and mindful eating practice kind of slides a little bit. Maybe we've not been walking, and so when we come back home, a little bit of stuff has built up. Maybe you checked out because there was grief and you didn't want to deal with it, so when you check in, you feel those twinges or those pangs. But what I want you to know is that once you check in, if you find anything other than love, if you find anything less than support, if you find something that for you doesn't ring true, step 2, get out. You tell those limited thoughts to go. You tell that self-doubt to check out. All those thoughts that don't support you, all those memories that are limiting you or holding you back, you pick them all up and you set them at the curb. You are the sovereign of your mind, and you are the co-creator of your life. You have the absolute right and responsibility as a child of God to claim your good. Why? Because you are worthy. Because you are a child of this beautiful universe. You were created in the likeness, in the image of that source of all good. Everything else can go. Yes? Yes, it needs to go. It doesn't have any business. Those thoughts are freeloading. They come in and they take advantage. Send them an eviction notice and tell them to go. So we're going to do that right now. So I want you just to imagine with me, you got all this junk mail. Maybe it's an old memory. Maybe it's something you heard. Maybe it's something that you've used against yourself, because we can beat ourselves up. So right now, what I want you to imagine is you're just taking off all that junk. So just kind of clean off all that dust. And you're just going to kind of put it here as a little ball of trash right in front of you. So just pull all that off. Come on, get it out. It's like spring cleaning in October. All right, now crunch it, crumple it all up, and then I'm going to have the ushers open that back door. And once you turn around, I want you to take this wad of crud and say goodbye, bye, so long. That's right, see ya. Hasta la vista, baby. Now, do this. All done. And shut the doors. Done. No more. Now you got all that stuff out. I want that light when we checked in. Now I want you just to let that stream through every cell. I want you to let that light fill every place where before there was lack. Let the light pour forth and heal the wounds. Mend anything that needs mended. Just let that love flow. Feels good. So check in and then get out. So now that we've done that, we're ready. We're ready to be the light. You've come home, you've released, now shine. Being the light means we smile when we see a stranger. Being light means we lift one another up in prayer. Being light means we speak boldly. We encourage others courageously. It means we embody abundance because we know there is enough for all. Now, sometimes when we talk about in unity being the light, it seems like this huge task. Oh, great, I gotta go to work, I gotta clean the house, I gotta take care of the kids, and I gotta be the light? What's next? You want me to turn water into wine? maybe feed 5,000. No. Being the light isn't really about what you do. Being the light is about you being you. Because what I think is, you're going to go to work, you got to grocery shop, you got to do all these things anyway. You might as well shine while you're doing it. Just be yourself. You are the light. Now, to demonstrate that and to really give you an experience with that, I'm going to have the ushers now hand you a couple of things. Because you are the light, and I want you to see that, and I want you to know it, and I want you to feel it. So the ushers are going to pass out 2 of these special spiritual reminders for you. So everyone's going to get 2. Does anybody recognize what these are? What are they? They're glow sticks. These are glow sticks. So you're going to get 2. Now handle them very carefully. Don't do anything quite with them yet, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So these are glow sticks. And when you first look at them, they don't look too exciting or too fun. But what happens is, when you take the glow stick and when you start to crack it, don't crack it yet, but when you start to crack it, something happens. Kind of like in life. Sometimes when we get pushed a little bit, when we experience loss, when there's a break, when there's change, that's when the true spirit of us comes through. That's when we have an opportunity to really shine our light. So in a minute, once everybody has a glow stick, we're going to do this. What's also interesting about these glow sticks is that there's not some light that shines on it. Where does the light come from? It comes from the inside. The light comes from within. Did you know these glow sticks will glow and glow and glow and glow? You can dip them under water. They're going to glow. You could throw them out the window. They'll lay on the street and they'll glow. But where do these glow sticks seem to glow the brightest? In the dark. In the dark. Where do we, as children of God, as beings of love, where do we have the most brilliant, the most miraculous, the sweetest and most wonderful opportunity to shine our lights? In the darkest times, in the hardest times. That's when we can really shine as the light of the world. All right, now you have 2 sticks. One I want you to tuck away, because you're going to need it someday. One day you're going to have one of those days and you're going to think, the world is ending, I can't do this anymore, and then you're going to pull it out. But for now, I want you to take one of your glow sticks, and I want you to start cracking. And I want you to see what happens. Something special happens. And as soon as you see your light, I want you to stand up and say, I am the light. I am the light. You are the light. You are the light. You are the light. Let me see these lights. Stand up and claim it. You are the light. Look at all the different brilliant colors. Look at how they glow, just like each and every one of you. Now, you can sit down if you're ready. But look at the glow stick for a minute. And who do you think you are, shining like that? It still glows. Quit being so bright. It still glows. Did you hear what's going on out there in the world? It still glows. No matter what I do out here, that light is going to keep shining, keep shining, keep shining in there. Your light, let it shine. Let it shine. I think we all have such an incredible opportunity to be here on this planet at this time. Life is a sacred gift. It's a miracle. So this week, and in all the days coming, I want you to check in. I want you to get the stuff out. And then I want you to be who you are. Be the light. Namaste.
I think you took my notes. It's nothing like just like this blank podium up here. Thank you, Steffany. That was beautiful. The light is good, and the light is shining in the window. It's wonderful. So now's the time we come together as a spiritual community, and we recognize the power of giving and thanksgiving. We know that our prosperity comes from the highest source, and we are grateful that we have the opportunity to share our wealth where it's most needed. Maya Angelou said, "I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver." So as you prepare your tithes and your love offerings, I'd like to ask you to join me in saying our offering affirmation. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving, and so it is.
All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love, in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love, in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love, in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love, in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender.
Thank you, God, that your living spirit of truth expressing through all of us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Thank you, ushers, for your service, and also want to acknowledge our gratitude to our online community that's with us today. Thanks for being there, and also thanks for your donations made through our live stream and our website. Did you know you could do that when you're home? And watch and participate? Isn't that awesome? I think it is. So, before we get to our announcements, we like to welcome people who are new or newish to our community. If you are new and want to learn more about Unity, we've provided a newcomer's information card in the seat in front of you. says newcomers information, easy to identify. You can take this home with you. It gives you some information. There's also a stay in touch card that you can fill out and give to one of our ushers as you leave. This puts you on our email list. You get 2 emails a month. We don't send that information to anybody else. We'd be happy to keep in communication with you. We also want you to know that if you visit our gift shop, you can request a complimentary copy of the Daily Word. And I know, just for myself, that is one of the most wonderful tools for my daily life. So if you are new, and if you're here for the first time today and you wouldn't mind letting us know who you are, could you please raise your hand so we could give you a little round of applause and say howdy? Anyone today? Thank you. Thank you for being brave. And please join us. Our Welcome and Information Station has all the information you need about upcoming events. And if you join us in our Friendship Hall, there's a Let's Connect table that you can get more information as well. So thank you for being here. As I said, details and information on our registration on anything that's happening, you can visit the Welcome and Information Station in the back. We would like to invite you to join Steffany this evening for Angels Among Us at 6 p.m. From pets to pen pals, those we love remain at our sides, ready to speak and to guide. Find joy, feel love, and see spirit in this unique experience. This is offered on a love offering basis, so please come if you're so inclined. Registration for Yom Kippur with Rabbi Ted is still available by visiting the Welcome and Information Station or at rabbitedfalcon.com. Also, join Rabbi Ted on Saturday, October 19th for Spiritual Saturdays. Rabbi Ted shares the universal teachings of the Jewish wisdom tradition in this monthly, intentional spiritual gathering. Through teachings, songs, and meditation, he co-creates an environment supporting our awakening to the more profound levels of our own identity. Join our own Reverend Nina Clark for Spiritual Awakening, a midweek healing service starting on Wednesday, October 16th at 7 p.m. and continuing for 3 additional Wednesdays. Co-founder Myrtle Fillmore teaches us that awakening spirituality is foundational to all healing. Following a brief lesson, we will dig deep together using a combination of New Thought prayer and solfeggio frequencies to shake loose old entrenched patterns that stand between us and our spiritual awakening, or our light shining, right? And on October 20th at 12:30, we'll gather to celebrate the performance of our beloved community, amend our bylaws, and elect 2 new trustees. Print information on the final nominees of our trustees will be available next Sunday. And print information on the bylaw amendments is available right now. We must have a quorum to conduct business, and while all are welcome, only active eligible members may vote. And we're going to now welcome Reverend Nina and Karen to the platform.
You guys are so good. We have birthed a pirate community here. Ahoy, mateys. Here comes Captain Karen. You remember last Sunday we told you about the pirate map that we found that would help us locate the notorious pirate Blackbeard's treasure chest. Well, we found it.
Or is that me pirate hat you're wearing?
It's me captain's hat now.
And is that my treasure chest you've got there?
Traded fair and square for letting you tell jokes last Sunday.
And is my Steffany Barton past life reading still in there?
Captain Blackbeard, ye shouldn't be telling everyone what be in your chest. The loot and treasure inside are only to be revealed to the winning bidder on the night of the auction.
And speaking of the auction, the pirate ship Unity of Lynnwood sails at 6 p.m. on October 26th, and we are short of full crew. We're only about half full, and we need more of you to sign up. 'Tis a grand party we be throwing for sure, with lots of booty and grub and grog. a silent and alive auction with piles of treasure, and we'd like to see all hands on deck. The festivities will culminate with a musical performance by Kansas City singing sensation Jerome Johnson. So come put your X on a registration form after service so we can sail with a full crew.
And if you already have plans aboard another ship, you can still participate in our Fund a Need by filling out a proxy form. By doing so, you are supporting the purchase of a quality used 15-passenger side-step shuttle with a wheelchair lift, in the completion of our gazebo and land projects, and all the wonderful programs here at Unity in Lynnwood.
This year's auction is made possible by our generous sponsors, Howard and Judy Shermack. Tell you gets you in trouble at Fred Meyer's. Mill Creek Family Services and Unity in Lynnwood's own Board of Trustees.
Come and see us at the table at the back of the sanctuary following the service. There you can register for the auction, sign up to volunteer, fill out a proxy, or drop off your procurement form or auction item. This is the last day for procurement forms to be turned in. We will still accept bottles of wine through next Sunday, the 20th.
See you on the high seas on October 26th.
Avast ye Buccaneers, I'm still here.
Or what do you want, Captain Blackbeard?
Why are pirates the coolest?
And you thought we forgot the jokes. Captain Blackbird, I don't know. Why?
Because they just are.
I think Nina has a problem. Anyway, my booty will be here. Will your booty be here?
My booty will be ample.
All good things are happening. All good things are happening here at Unity in Lynnwood. You can find information on your printed program by is anybody paying attention? By visiting our Facebook page on our app or the calendar page of our website at unityinlynnwood.org.
So on a more serious note, we will be joined by Gypsy Soul next Sunday. They are fantastic, and this will be their premiere at Unity in Lynnwood, so you don't want to miss that.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to tell you, you are my favorite experience of the week. You truly are. I won't embarrass anybody. In fact, I think she's gone. I sat in the back row after I came upstairs from visiting the youth, and I sat next to an infant who looked at me and smiled and reached out his hand. And I thought how much we have to learn from the children. Your youth are doing great. I went downstairs and I visited the teens who were studying a passage from Genesis in which it was offered by the early Hebrew writers that God created humankind in God's image, male and female. He created them. And you want to know what they taught about that? That God didn't create men and women. God created people who are whole. And that the symbolism of light, whether it's expressed in religious language or philosophical language, or even now the language of quantum physics, you understand, that the symbolism of light has to do with bringing forth that most whole self into the world. How do you like that? Do you wish you'd grown up with that? If you would like to learn more about Unity, again, today is your day. My office is directly down the hallway and to the right. We've been closing with a song of blessing. If there's anyone you would like to invite into a time of higher knowing, a time of prayer, I would invite you just to speak the first name now. Just speak it out loud. And so, as always, to all who have been invited into this circle of recognition, this circle of remembering, this circle of higher knowing, to all who have turned anything of a spiritual ear to this conversation, we stand in all that we know God to be. We stand in our knowledge of life. We stand in our knowledge of sufficiency. We stand in our knowledge of harmony. We stand. In our knowledge of wisdom. This is the gift we give. And with something of a faith and with something of a boldness, and we lift our voices together and speak these closing words of benediction. There is one power and one presence in, through, and around all creation. So we go forth as the eyes of divine love, as the tongues of divine wisdom, as the hands of divine sufficiency, and the bold and ready hearts of divine life.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure
comfortable doing so, allow your eyes to find another soul, and as you look upon them, take the following. Say, baby, I see your light. Baby, I see the fullness that you are, and I'm here to help you let it out. And as we bring this commitment to form, I would challenge you to learn 3 new names of that light, which is expressed so beautifully as this gathering, before you leave this room. And if this is a consciousness with which you can align, if this is a commitment with which you can agree, then let's just close this time together by simply saying, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Many blessings, unity in Lynnwood.